Am I live now? Hey, how about that? Technology, I love it when it works. I'm Reverend Penny Honey, and thank you for joining us here at Unity of Flagstaff. We got a lot of surprises and fun stuff going on this morning. We got Shawn Dennehy back in the house. Shawn was one of our original Unity of Flagstaff musicians. We are grateful to have him with us. And you know what? We've got Sam in the house behind the camera. He's back for a little visit. Thank you, Sam. We're grateful for that. Today we're gonna talk about curiosity. Curious, starting with a beginner's mind. Let's do that. How about it? So welcome, my friends, www.unityofflagstaff.org. Find out everything you want to about the ministry there. And of course, you can always donate. We appreciate your ongoing support. Blessings, my friends, and welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. Hello, my friends. Thanks for being with us. All right, so we have, guess who's in the house? That's what I'm talking about. This is a full circle day. We'll get into more of that a little later, but this is the place we want to be. This is written, and Shawn, of course, is going to perform this song. You won't know this song. You won't recognize it. You haven't seen it before. Breathe into that. Stand, and if you want to follow along with the words, here they are. Join in. He's easy to follow. So if you would, please, as you're comfortable, here we go. Thank you again. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff.
Going down to a place with a little river town, dancing all around like a merry-go-round.
Come on, you guys can stomp your foot, can't you? Here we go.
Laugh and sing until the break of dawn, and sit around a fire and sing some songs. Well, I was younger then.
Anybody ever been younger?
Remember when going back to a place when we found ourselves again. When we leave this town, wherever we may roam, we will find a place that we can call a home. Yeah, you're getting it. Let's head to the west, to the hills where the sun sets, to the valley below where we'll be free. This is the place we want to be.
This is the place. Here we go.
We're flowing like the river and rolling to the sea. You laugh like the wind, charm the birds from the trees. We left together, a dollar and a dream. You are a waterfall and I am a stream.
Here we go.
Let's head to the crest of the hill as the sun sets.
Aren't they good?
To the valley below where we'll be free. This is the place we
Yeah.
want. This ship won't go where I try to steer. I dreamt of a place and now we are here. We all can fall, get up and fall again. But you are always
There you
there
go.
when
I need a friend.
Yeah. And I won't let the ship go down. Keep my ear to the ground. Lock the door and throw away the key. This is the place we
wanna
wanna
be.
be.
Woo! Shawn, Dennehy, say good morning, my friends, to each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, I love bluegrass. Yeah, me too. I used to be, I live in Washington now. I lived here for 15 years. Lived here, that's how I met Penny. But I moved away a few years ago. Yep, in Bellingham. I love it, yeah, it's different. I love it here, and I miss it here a lot, and it's so different there, but I love it in different ways. And it's so beautiful up there. Yeah. Me too. It's so much fun. Yeah, if you like camping, you can camp there too in the campgrounds. And... Oh, perfect. Maybe I can crash with you. Yeah, I usually camp, and then jam with people in the campgrounds, and I'm hoping to make it this year. I haven't been since I moved, and it's my favorite festival. That's what got me into bluegrass, was going to that festival. So much fun. Who? Okay, I don't know them. I don't think.
All right, let's come back together. Here we go. Isn't this great? It's like herding cats. Yeah. All right, now, come on.
They're having too much fun.
We're having Nope, you can't ever have too much fun, right? Can't ever have too much. All right, here we go. Thank you for being with us this morning. I am Reverend Penny. Honey, it's a joy to be with you, of course. There's a lot of places you could have been this morning. Some folks are out hiking. That's where they find their divine expression this morning. Some folks are out having brunch with a bunch of friends. That's where they're finding their divine expression this morning. Some folks are at graduations. And some of you are here, and I'm always grateful for that. It's good to be with you. And if you're here for the first time, and you got a blue card at the door, if you didn't, let us know. We'll get you one. And, you may just be passing through, right? But it's kind of fun sometimes to peek in and see what this cool little community is doing, so I encourage you to fill out that blue card. And Selena or myself will contact you, and we will stay in touch, and we will hold you in prayer when you want that, and we are community. And for all of those that don't fill out the blue cards, all that stuff is still true too. It's true for you. And we're grateful to serve this community in that way. So thank you. I say it, I used to say I say it every Sunday, but that's not true. Look, I'm back in the hot seat this morning, right? Because Shawn isn't with us. You missing him? Yeah, we're missing him. He went over to celebrate the minister at Federated Churches last Sunday. This is her last Sunday. And he was on that team. And I said, you can't miss that. And so he is celebrating that with Reverend Diamond today. And so that puts me back into all the filler. Right? So hang on. You know how I am when they give me a microphone, right? Unity, of course, is founded on prayer. And we are practicing good prayer in this community. We are supporting you in consciousness and awareness. And we have a prayer team that gets together every week, holding conditions and situations and people in prayer. And it's powerful. That is one of the ways for you to be supported today. And silent unity, 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Take a breath with me, 24/7. Take a breath with me. You ever need prayer at a very inconvenient time? 24/7. Put it on speed dial 1. And you can contact us here at the center. Unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning, then go to speed dial 1. Of course not. If you need support, you will find it here. Contact the center at 928-526-8893. And I have prayer partners in the room. Prayer partners that are available for prayer today. Look for their beautiful white silk shawls. They will be here to support you in prayer. That also includes celebrating stuff, right? It's not just about what we think we need to ask for. It is through prayer that you develop all your wonderful qualities of soul. Myrtle Fillmore, the mother of unity, reminded us. And speaking of open in prayer, look who we have today. Come on up here, Miss Helen. Round of applause, prayer partner. Minister Search co-lead. Oh, I could go on and on, but we only have so much time, Helen. Okay, good, she says. All right, thank you for being here. Helen shared a prayer at prayer team this week, something she had written. And everybody said, oh, you got to share that with the room. And she jumped up with joy and said, I'll do that. So thank you.
Well, it is my joy to be here, but I wasn't jumping very high anyway. The prayer partners have been reviewing the powers that are given to us and about which we remind each other. And as I considered the power of faith, a Bible verse came to mind, and I wrote these words in response to the need to use the power of faith during the times I am troubled. Please join me in prayer. I have been told, if you have faith like a mustard seed, you will be able to move mountains. I open to faith today. I have the perception that there is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe. And I open now to seeing beyond the appearance of divisiveness, the appearance that that which is different, evil even, is separate from me. I trust that the time is coming that our oneness will become apparent. That like the seeds I am planting in my garden, I expect love, and I prepare by planting seeds of love. I expect kindness as I plant seeds of kindness. I prepare for the harvest of peace as I plant seeds of calmness and patience. I am grateful for the power of faith that moves the mountains of doubt and brings me peace. Thank you, and amen.
You can applaud. I saw those little hands wanting to do that. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. She probably won't be so quick to share what she writes with prayer team anymore, right? So it's my joy today to bring to the front. Where'd that young'un go? There she is. Marilyn Chase is our PA today. Also, our new board president. Round of applause. Greeter, friend, all those things. We appreciate you. And I am telling you, I want a chair like that. Right? I want a chair like that. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm going to get your little microphone over here. Okay, and you can stand right over here if you so choose. All right. You're going to lead us in the principle first. We're just mixing things up a little bit here today. And so together, if you will support Marilyn in saying unity principle number 1.
One presence, one power. God is all, everything, all the time.
And the short version is
God
is. There we go. Pretty simple, isn't it? So, I am going to, let me see what we did here. Yeah, we had a couple people involved in the PowerPoint this week, and so thank you for your patience. So, first I would like to do prayers and gratitudes. That's what we're going to do first, okay? And in doing that, I want to remind you, God knows the details. Okay, now say that with me. God knows the details. I love that part, right? And so we are here to support you in prayer. What are you celebrating? What would you like support with? Who can we hold in prayer for you and with you? All right. And look, she's also the microphone deliverer. A round of applause, multitasking Marilyn. That's what I'm saying.
Two things. One is I tripped over my shoes while I was trying to get across the crosswalk quickly and got a couple of stitches and so forth. The CAT scan showed up negative, so I'm fine. I'm just a...
Is that negative that there wasn't a brain to scan? Or you knew that was coming.
I was not positive for a skull or for swelling.
And we are grateful.
So I am good.
We are grateful.
Okay.
Yes.
The other thing is I got a text message from one of my nieces that she's going through a divorce, and her name is Kayla Hunt. So just prayers for Kayla.
How about we give that back to Marilyn? Thank you, Gary. So first, I just want to affirm that you are happy, healthy, and healing, right? You are sure-footed. Spirit goes before. Sometimes we need to let him lead. Yeah. Why do I know that? And so, Gary, we're seeing you healing, and we're grateful. We're grateful, truly. And we are holding your niece, yes? Yeah, in prayer. This is a big time. Change is difficult at times. Transition is hard. And we see her mighty and powerful and knowing her own power within, that she's safely held and she is loved and fully supported. And everyone involved knows that to be true for themselves also. Yeah.
Good morning. So I'm going to start with the gratitude. Last weekend, I was in Mentone, California for his weekend with Gary, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was very eye-opening, healing, transformative, and now I want to be staff, so that's probably what's going to happen. So that's my gratitude / praise, and then my prayer is on my way here. I bumped into a friend, and she looked pretty rough. She got into a fight with her brother, and she has lost everything. Her family. She's at ground zero at the moment, and it just happened. So just keeping her in mind and sending that energy of healing and giving her the clarity and direction to know what to do in this time. And for me to be able to have some clarity on knowing how I can be supportive as her friend in this time.
Thank you, Caden. So we're celebrating your newfound interest and connection in your weekend experience. And we're celebrating the opening of your mind and the softening of your heart. It's a cool thing when that happens, isn't it? Anybody ever have that happen? Yeah. So when we say we celebrate, that means we get it. We know what it is to stand on the precipice of rediscovering our own divinity. We will stand with you. Yeah. And your friend, we're bringing her into the light right now. She is reminded that there is no separation between her and her divine expression. That she is held in light and love. And the healing that she's experiencing right now is deep and real and transformative. We are there with her in this as we pray. And so it is. Yeah.
I am thankful. Faye and I had dinner with one of my old high school and college buddies, Zach, and his wife Karen last night, and they are really excited. They bought a home in Flagstaff. They're keeping their home in Santa Barbara, and they're going to be going back and forth. But it was just really neat to connect up with them again and find out how their lives are going and kids are going. And so that was thankful for that. And then we're both going to be at a 50th year high school reunion in October. So get to see a lot of my other high school friends from my small high school.
How fun, that reconnecting, right? It's interesting, isn't it, how all of a sudden distance and time really doesn't make as much difference as we thought it might have. And that we are connected, and we're always connected. So yay, and thank you for modeling that and showing that and celebrating that with us, right? Yeah, 50th year class reunion, that's like from grade school, right? That's exciting. That's a big time in a life. It is. Yeah. You know, you'll be amazed at how many old people are there. I know. That's what happened to me. Anyone else? Thank you, dear.
Everybody, I'm Jude. I'm visiting from Tucson.
Hey,
And,
Jude, welcome.
I'm really happy to be here among all of you. It's a special community. I can really get that vibe immediately when I walked in, so that's really good. And I'll be here till October, so you'll probably see me quite a bit. Yeah, thank you. I'm recovering from a lengthy illness, and I'm so excited to be up here so that I can, return to my perfect health and vitality. And I appreciate any prayers that can help me along that path. So thank you all in advance.
Yes.
And I'll do the same for you, okay?
Thank you for that, Jude. And thanks for being with us. We're grateful to have you. Flagstaff is a beautiful place to be. And this community is a fabulous place to land. And we are already seeing your wholeness and your perfection. We already know it to be true about you. We are affirming that your body is aligning right now with its perfect expression of health. Yay, God. All right. Yay, you. Thank you again for being with us. Hey, Michael, what you know back there?
Meg Ramos. You said God knew everything else. Why the hell should I tell you?
There you go. This is advanced spirituality right here. Right? Exactly. Exactly.
I will tell you, she's going on a safari in South Africa, and I want her to have a rip snorting good time.
All right, rip snorting it is. I am affirming a rip snorting good time right now. God is ever present. She is safe, and she is opening to great and new adventure in her life. Meg Ramos, right? Ramos. All right, there we go. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that concludes our service today, right? God knows the details. Cute. All right, anybody else? Aha, Miss Suzanne. Can you get to her? How about I just hand her this one? Is that okay? All right. I don't want to cut you off.
I just wanted prayers for my housemate, who I love deeply, and I wish her happiness and joy and good health on her journey. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, do you want to wish anybody happiness, health, and joy and light on their journey? Let's take a deep breath into that. It's good, isn't it, Suzanne, to remind ourselves that we have the power within to do exactly that. Feel that. Feel it? Right there it is. Thank you for that. Thank you. I don't know. I may have to steal this microphone back from Shawn when he gets back. I miss this. I miss being with you in the room a little more. Anyone else? Take a deep breath, won't you? Miss Marilyn, I'm going to have you come on back up here. Did we leave you a microphone? You've got one. See, man, she is so on it. Let's take a deep breath around what we've heard just now. What we know is God does know the details, and I don't care if you call it God, I don't care if you call it Buddha, I don't care if you call it Jesus, I don't care if you call it Ethel. The point is to call on it often. And to know that where two or more are gathered, we are standing in the presence of divinity. That we are the power within that heals, that connects, that sees through these conditions, and we release them to a higher transformation, and we do that right now. And so it is, and so we let it be. Yeah. All right, Miss Marilyn, you're on, darling.
Okay. Well, I'm going to share with you something that was very profound for me that happened. It was 1986. I'd been teaching classes, and what came in my heart was that I wished people could see the beauty in them that I saw. And I wanted to do a workshop where that could come through. And while I was working towards making up this workshop, a piece of music came into my mind. And I didn't know what it was, but my stepson is a musician, he and his wife. And so I tried to hum it for him, and he thought maybe it was Baroque, so we went out to the music store. It was not. And so then I tried to hum it for him again, and he said, "That's Gregorian chant music." I said, "What's that?" You know, so he got me an album of this music, and I took it home, and it was what I'd been hearing in my head. And I was playing it so much, my husband was going crazy. He didn't want to hear it anymore. And so one morning he'd left for work, and I was sitting in my chair. You know, I was really trying to figure out how I was going to accomplish what I wanted. And I was listening to the music when suddenly I had an urge to lay prone on the floor. Strange, I know. And then the most profound experience happened for me. I began to see myself as a young boy, and I was in the mountains, and I have no idea where it was. What came up for me was Bavaria, but I don't know that that's true. And I was in a monastery, and I had been left with this monastery to become a monk. And it was a monastery where they practiced silence, and the only time that there was voicing was when they did the chanting. And so what I remembered about it in this vision that I was having was that when they gave you your first robe, it scratched. It was so itchy. And it was just awful when they'd give you this robe and you'd put it on and it was terrible. That stayed with me, I guess, or wherever this vision came from. And I saw the room that I was in. And I could stick out my hands and touch the edges of the wall. And there was like a little table. And that was the only thing that was in the room that we could put a candle on it. There was a mat on the floor. And the music played on. And I kept seeing things. I saw a vision of sitting by a creek and opening my eyes, and there was 2 fawns being born across the creek. It was so real, I could feel the moisture and the coolness against the walls. I'd never had a vision such as this in my life. And it made me feel like I was on the right track with what I was doing. And it just opened up so many possibilities of thought to me about how everything is connected, how whatever it is that is me keeps going on. And there I was in this monastery, and it was beautiful. And my workshop turned out great.
And you've taught for how many years, Marilyn, now?
I taught from 85 until 2000. I was a drunk who got sober because I wanted to hurt my daughter and realized it one day and asked. I had a vision about what to do about that also. And so I did some training, and I just kept trying to learn how to be a better human being because I was nasty as a drunk. I really was. And so I saw what to do, and I started learning. And when I started learning, I just took everything I learned and took it back and tried to use it on my daughter. You know, she was a willing participant, but she didn't want to participate, if that makes sense to you. And so as I was learning so many things, and I was so excited, and I used to share with everybody. They couldn't shut me up. And a lady said to me, "Will you teach a class?" And I said, "I'm a drunk. What do I know about teaching a class?" And she said, "But you teach all the time." And so I went home and I told my husband, and he said, "I think that's a great idea." So I charged $20 for a 10-session class, and I did it in my living room with, I think there were 10 of us, and it worked. And when I got through, they asked me what I was teaching next. So I taught for 15 years until people in my family got ill, and I stopped teaching and I started caretaking for the next 13 years until my husband passed.
And she's teaching now in today's world. So, round of applause. Thank you for reminding us what it is to listen, right? To pay attention to that knowing that's within. If someone would get the lights, we're going to have Mr. Shawn Dennehy. Thank you again, Marilyn. We're going to have Shawn Dennehy. This is an original, How You Leave the World Behind. Take a deep breath as we prepare for meditation, if you will, please.
The origin of the blues. You won't see it on the news. It's not about a place, it's about the lives you touch behind the face. The time that we all get, we spend it on a debt. And we don't even know what it is that we are paying for. It's not how high you climb, but the love you give when life makes it hard to find. It's how you leave the world behind. A little better for us to find. And we don't have to agree. About everything, but it's hard to ignore when we don't know what we are fighting for. And down the journey lies a road you can't take twice. When you run out of time, before the world is ready to be left behind. It's not how high you climb, but the love you give when life makes it hard to find. We're on borrowed time. Can you forgive a world that's not always kind? It's how you leave the world behind. It's how you leave the world behind. It's how you leave the world behind. A little better for us to find.
And we breathe that in. Recognize the room, the sounds, your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath in and allow it to release. Consider all the things that came before this moment. Go ahead, look at them all. Those that were done and those that were undone. Go ahead. You can see them from here. Enfold that in light. Infuse those things with love. Now gently set those aside and feel your presence in the room and the presence within. This is where we have the opportunity to leave the world a better place. Every time we enter the room, when we remember who we are, when we embrace the beauty of our presence, here is how we leave our world a better place. Feel your heart softening and your mind opening and your ears filtering the sound of noise, of anything that separates you from knowing your divine nature. Feel that groundedness of being in a safe place. Your knowing, your light, your presence. Now wrap that up in love. Love, that being, that expression. Feel the joy of that connection to the divine. And begin to rest. In your knowing. In your oneness. Rest now. Recognize this place of peace within. And with a deep breath, and as you release, send that out into our world. We are blessed, and we are sending blessings. We deny the power of anything that separates people from knowing their light. And we affirm there is one power, one presence. And for this, we are grateful. And so it is. And so we let it be.
In the wind, in the rain, you've been lost in pain. When a boy and a girl find each other in the world, you know it's a beautiful beautiful thing when you find what love will bring. Life's a slow moving train when you've lost, but you've got a lot to gain. And when you feel all alone, without another stone to throw, you know it's a beautiful thing when you find what love will bring. When you are waiting too long and you can't see the light and it keeps you going strong, that feeling it soon will be gone. The night is always darkest just before the dawn. You try to speak, but you can't say a thing, but your fears are swept away. When your eyes meet, you want more. You never felt like this before. You know it's a beautiful thing when you find what love will bring. When you find what love will bring.
Shawn Dennehy. I know. So I told him I was going to sit down today, so now Sam's chasing me around with the camera. And I'm really going to try to do that. And no, I don't have another big announcement to make. Everybody take a breath, because the last time I pulled a chair up, I said, I'm retiring to Mexico in July. Boy, that's been a few months. But it's been kind of short. I still haven't sat in that chair. Let me get over here. I don't know. This just, no. No. You know, that's not a fit for me, is it? Sorry, Sam. You thought this was going to be a, yeah, right? There we go. You know, so yeah, he does. And I just want to acknowledge that Shawn was the first musician that I hired as the minister at Unity of Flagstaff 6.5 years ago. About 6.5 years ago, yeah. You know, I was new to town and I didn't know musicians, right? Shawn just appeared. Well, kind of something like that. We kind of met a couple times. I'm like, please, please. So kind and always so supportive. He was the first one that was on the ladder with me, putting in the projector, right? Right? And it's a full circle because then Shawn moved to Washington. That's why I hear that little question, well, why don't we have him more often? He's not here locally. But he came back this weekend, and Trina, man, she's on it. She's going to be our person that's finding your musicians going forward. She hooked up with Shawn, and here we are. Check that out, right? Round of applause. Yeah. Because that's kind of a job in the ministry, finding guest speakers, finding musicians. That takes a little time. And so Trina is going to take over the musician piece. So, yeah. Yeah, and, you know, a calendar is a moving target, right? It's kind of everywhere. This person can do that, and that person can't do that. So we're grateful. And divine timing is what I say, Shawn. Yeah, round of applause. We're grateful. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah. So today is about curiosity. Do you guys get a picture of a monkey when I say that? Curious George? Well, you do now. Right? When was the last time you felt yourself being really curious? I mean, like, I wonder what's in that, or I wonder I wonder what I can get out of that. Or I wonder what that's about. There's a phrase that I really like, and I failed to find out who originated this, and probably, I'm going to say, I don't know, what, some Greek god originated this thing. But it's called a beginner's mind. It's about starting out with a beginner's mind, where we look at things as if we've never seen them before. Now, some days I look at my computer like that. What is this? Anybody? Right? But I'm talking about a little different than that. I'm talking about how something comes into our life and we truly look at it differently, as if we've never seen it before. It's fun. Curiosity is fun. And I know, watch kids, there they are, right? Being so curious, the world is wide open to them because they are curious. Curiosity is what lets a young mind grow and keeps an old mind young. That's a quote by Kelly Armstrong. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. In a beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. And in an expert's mind, there are few. So the reason I thought I was going to sit down today, maybe I will, we'll see. I should have worn more uncomfortable shoes. That would have been inspiring to sit, I suppose. But I'm going to Mexico in July. And that's just the truth of it. And I'm excited about that. I'm celebrating that in my life. And I know you are too. But I had my first meltdown this week. I did. I was sitting in the chair with Millie. That's my cat. I was sitting in the chair with Millie. We have our little place that we sit early in the morning. And suddenly I realized in a month I wouldn't be sitting there. Have you ever had a moment like that in your life where all of a sudden, whoa, this isn't going to look like this in a year. This isn't going to look like this in a day. This isn't going to look like this in a week, right? And that also applies to the things that bring us angst. This isn't going to look like this in a year. This isn't going to look like this next week. Heck, I might have a piece of toast and it'll look different, right? But what I know that is in the middle of that meltdown, what I learned was, I can't get far enough that God can't find me. I can't be sad enough. I can't be happy enough that God can't find me. And so I've been hearing little things in the ministry about my leaving, and I think there's some questions. And so here I am. Am I happy to be going? That's been one of the questions. I'm not happy to be going. I'm happy for the opportunity. Is the ministry going to be all right? The ministry is all right. This is what we teach. This is what those principles are about. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is when we plug in what we know, what we study, what we aspire for in our lives. This is when that happens. Now, none of you have anything going on in your life, so you can all focus on what's going on in mine. The point is this: stay curious about your life. And if you have questions, I want to hear them right now. I've never been one to shy away from much. I know that comes as a real big surprise. But what I know is when I run forward with my heart wide open and my mind in the consciousness of a beginner's mind, I have stepped into infinite possibility. I will begin to express a greater vibration in my life. And do you know who taught me that? You guys did. I know I came with my little ordination. I'd already been ordained and then went through 3.5 more years and I became unity ordained, and I am grateful for all of those things. But do you know who taught me that? You did. Because you have demonstrated throughout my time here that you want a spiritual community. You need a spiritual community. That sounds like that movie. What was that movie? A few good men. There you go. You need me on that wall. You want a spiritual community that feeds you, that serves you, that supports you, that is integrated in your lives. You are always showing that and demonstrating that, not just because you show up here on Sunday, but because somebody drives people to church. Because somebody reaches out and says, I can do that. Penny, your hair's messed up in back, Selena says. What are you doing there? We are in community together, and as long as we stay curious, everything is possible. And then I heard this question. Well, how are we going to find a minister like you? And I said, don't. Don't. Open your minds. Soften your hearts to infinite possibility. You think this was good? Wait till you see what's coming. Spirit is ever present. And this community holds the consciousness that they want a spiritual community. Open your minds and your hearts. And now's the time. Put that wish list in. Start telling the universe. And then start listening. Because the infinite possibility that this community has always shown me that they believe in, and the leeway they gave me to run with it, I am eternally grateful for. Because you taught me, this community taught me how to be safe when it looked kind of scary. My first meal in my beautiful little home that I get to live in. And I thank Tara for that opportunity. She owns that little space I live in. My first meal, I sat at a Rubbermaid container. Of course, I knew where the tablecloths were, but I didn't know where the silverware was. Of course, I threw out fabric on a Rubbermaid container and unfolded that folding chair and got the pasta tongs out and ate my spaghetti on a plate that night, actually out of a pan, my first night. And it was filled with infinite possibility. And I said, God, now, okay, I've uprooted this life again. Here we go. But you know what? I want what God wants. And I promise not to get in the way again. And this community said yes. And this community supported me in that. And this community grew from that little dance hall, right, Shawn? When we were meeting in a dance hall, building a church every Sunday. Come on now, we all got better biceps out of that deal. Chairs, speakers, music stands, tables. It was all there. The infinite possibility that we saw in that empty space, that is where you're standing right now. That's where you're at. So what do you want to know? Do you want to be reminded that we teach one power, one presence? Because my friends, when you open your minds and you soften your hearts, that's where you get to go. That's how these unity principles work in our lives. This isn't just woo-woo. So when you're talking to that search committee and you're thinking about that minister that you are creating and drawing to you right now, how important is it that we know how to plug these principles and these teachings into everyday life? Is that important to you? Make a note of that. Is it important to you? The teachings and the tools of prayer and meditation, is that important to you? Do you want to learn more about that? Do you want to see how that applies to your daily life? Put that on your list. I want that minister to talk about that. I want a consciousness of the tools that this new thought teaching gives me. And I want to see it demonstrated. Start making your wish list. Start making your wish list. You know why? You manifested me. You did. You manifested me, and you seem like you've been kind of happy about that. If you aren't, I don't want to hear it. Thank you, Larry. Right? You manifested me. You manifested this space. You manifested this community to be the expression it is right now. Don't you go telling me you need another penny. You don't need another penny. What you need is the next expression of who we are, and you are going to define that. And Helen will love the support on the search committee with that. Feed them that information. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to know that you are that powerful. Come on now. You don't need another penny. Wait till you see what's coming. The universe loves you that much for you to have your best and your greatest experience on this planet. Be curious. What do you got? Anybody? What's a question? Don't ask me the meaning of life. I'll have to research that. What do you got, Marcia?
I think it will be up to whatever new minister comes to decide whether to continue the prayers and gratitude session of our service. But until we have a new minister, how's that going to work?
Okay, so we're talking, thank you, Marcia, thank you for that. So we're talking about the prayers and gratitudes, right? Because you know what? When I first got here, I was looking for a way to eliminate that from the service. I was. The energy would just kind of, and we were kind of staying in it, you know, in the issue or the condition. And this prayer team shifted that. Our prayer team shifted that energy in this community. You want to know who's supporting you in prayer? It's them every week. So when we come to that part in the community now, or in the celebration now, what I do, as you notice and recognize, is I affirm. And I use it as a teachable moment. What Marcia's asking is, in the interim, what happens with that? All right, so this is what happens. I've talked to Shar, who handles it beautifully when I haven't been here. I haven't talked to Sandra, but we won't put her on the spot. But she probably will be someone else that I will invite into that, right? And if you are called into that, Miss Selena, yeah, is that why you're pointing at her? Miss Selena will be doing that. But see, the thing is, and they're all great. They're going to be great at it. The thing is you guys are the ones that do that in the room. I just respond to what you say. I just stand present to the God that's in you and already see the solution with you. This is what we teach in unity. Thoughts are things. Prayer and meditation are our tools. So we use that time to demonstrate that. And I appreciate the question. If you're interested in that process, I am happy to support you in that before I get out of town. But we thought about that because it has become, and I was the one that thought she was going to try to get rid of it, it has become a high point in our service in reality. People get blessed when we hear how we're standing with each other and get reminded. And you know what, folks? That's just what we do on Sunday in general. It's just kind of an extension of everything that we teach. So we've looked at that, and I appreciate the question. And if you're interested, come see me to do the affirming and the prayers with our congregants. What else? Come on. Come on. Yes, Caden.
You know, I'm all about curiosity. Hello, hello, can you hear me? Oh. what about like people volunteering to kind of fill in some gaps to share wisdom from their heart, inspiring them to stand up in their own divinity for the congregation and sharing something that they feel. Kind of like we do the inspiring moments, giving people an opportunity to teach until we fully fill in that find the right person.
So I think what you're referencing is, what are we going to do for speakers? And are we willing to open that up to a conversation about if you have something to teach? And I wouldn't be making that decision. That's not mine to do. Look at me staying in my own lane. Round of applause. I'm just saying. But Caden, to address that and that concept of guest speakers, I have started scheduling folks ahead so that isn't something that Shawn and Selena have to deal with right away. Same way with musicians. And we are going to have some teachings from within the community. And as I said, I wouldn't be the one making that decision. Look at me staying in my own lane. Because it doesn't happen very often. I have to celebrate it. Who is making that? So that would be something you would present to Shawn. Thank you for asking that. The question is, who would you talk to if that's something you feel that you want to do? You would discuss that with Shawn. Shawn would have a conversation with the board, and the board will have a conversation about that. Because it isn't just this part that gets done, right? Just that. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of things to consider, time, etc., blah, blah, blah. But that's how it would get done, and thank you for clarifying the action step on that. I appreciate it. What else? What else? I love that.
Do you all have do you have a series of classes that you offer here that teach the different components of prayer, or that train people to be prayer chaplains so that they can step into those roles?
As a matter of fact, our prayer team, they do book studies and work on that. People can look at becoming a prayer team member. They would talk to Selena about that. And we do now have a trained chaplain, that is Selena. Thank you to the ministry for making that decision, which gives us some structure, right? It gives us some structure. And so, yes, we do have a prayer team in place. Yes, we do have a chaplain-trained person. And we are always encouraging people to pray with, it doesn't have to be somebody wearing a scarf. You know what? Somebody might walk up to Trina and say, Trina, I need some prayer. Do you think Trina would say no? Of course not, right? But I love having a little bit of structure around that, and so that's what we have in place. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. See, that's somebody that knows unity, right? From Tucson, unity in Tucson, and we appreciate that, Jude. Thank you. Yeah, that's a foundation of who we are. Who else? What else you got? All right. Yeah?
So I was trying to think of you and your evolution. And what was it when you found out all about what this opportunity was? I mean, what was the most amazing thing, or was there the biggest thing that drew you to literally leave the country for this job? I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And so there must be some kind of kernel of wow, I've always wanted to do that, or maybe it was part of a lifelong mission that we never knew about, or something like that. Because leaving the country, yeah, it kind of is a big move, right? Especially when you're not really taking anything with you, right? I'm not taking a truck. I'm not taking my car. I'm not, right? So thank you for that. And do you know what it was? I'd like to say it was an offer I couldn't refuse. And it was. It would have been irresponsible to refuse it, but that's not why. I want to say that it's so much cheaper to live in Mexico. That is true, but that's not why. I want to say that, there's some parts about being in the United States right now I'm not so excited about. There's some of that's true, but that's not why. The deciding kernel, the fact, because I want what God wants, and I promise not to get in the way again.
That's why. And I said, really? But I really like these people, and I think they like me. You said, Penny, you wouldn't get in the way. You said you wouldn't get in the way. Now, you can choose to do that, but you said you wouldn't get in the way. And that was the kernel. That was the point. I want what God wants. That's why I know you are in for a treat with whoever comes after me, because Spirit would not call me forward into something else and leave me hanging to think that this community couldn't manifest the next best and amazing minister. I know it's true, or I wouldn't have gotten the call. And I want what God wants. And I promise not to get in the way again. I invite you to consider that in your life. To keep being curious. And thank you for that question. Yeah. And I had a little meltdown. Because I like my little space. And I'm comfortable. And I don't have to wonder about what it's going to be. And I know these people. And they really put up with a lot. And they leave me so much space. My little meltdown. And I was sad. But I wasn't doubtful. I was a little dismayed. I liked some of my stuff. But I wasn't doubtful. That isn't what happened in my meltdown. And you guys taught me that. Permission is a powerful tool. And you guys have given me a lot of permission. A lot. You might want to think about that before the next one. Just kidding. Yeah. So thank you for that question. Anyone else? Yes, Gary.
How often do you think we might be seeing you in the future?
Come back 4 times a year.
So the question was how often. Now, yeah, but I want to, yeah, I will be back to the United States 4 times a year. I'm required to come back at least twice to get my passport stamped so that I can keep my American citizenship. However, there is a code of ethics with every minister, and that code of ethics says that I will not participate or be back for at least a year. Take a breath. And that's okay, and it's appropriate, and it's important. But I'll be ticking the days off. I am happy to come back when we have honored that. I am happy to come back and serve with you. Yeah, thank you, Gary. Oh, yeah. All right, anyone else? Yes. Oh, good. Miss Marcia. Here you am.
It's not a question. I just thought that curiosity coming up as your topic here was interesting because having kind of made some judgments and been hasty over the past couple of weeks, I came up with a solution to that where I'm going, instead of going, oh, that's bad, I'm going to say, that's interesting.
There you go. There you go. That's interesting. Round of applause, right? That's interesting. That is really interesting. Yeah. And I wonder who I can be now. I wonder how I can show up now. And when I look at these principles and these teachings and we start leaning into those when we ask that question, when we say, oh, that's interesting, I wonder who I can be now. Now they come to life. Now you're seeing the benefit. Yeah, that's interesting. Love it. Anyone else? All right, take a deep breath with me, won't you? I was ready for so many questions. I was. Ha ha on me. I was also going to sit down. That didn't work either, did it? Yeah. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. breathe in for a moment with me, won't you? Thank you, Spirit. And thank you to this community. And so it is. And so we let it be. Only my favorite song ever by Shawn Dennehy. He did this arrangement when we were over at Trans Inn. That's when you did this. Yeah.
Bringing it back by request.
By request.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been searching for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Shawn Dennehy. Talk about full circle, right? Right? And then we got Sam in the house. You know, he was our first AV guy here in this space, right? Round of applause. Yeah? Yeah? That was awesome. All right, here we go. Celebration of abundance. Are y'all ready for that? Let's prepare for that. Miss Marcia, you want to come up here and do some basket blessing? All right, good. Basket blessing it is.
I want to do the announcements too. Okay, board basket blessing.
Step on this side. There we go. We're going to bless these baskets.
And somebody's going to give me a cue.
And you're going to tell us that curiosity is the
Oh,
board consciousness. That's what you're going to do.
We're going to have to do this. this on our own eventually.
Okay.
All right. Okay, our board consciousness is curiosity. We stay curious and open to the amazing world we live in.
Yes, we do.
Okay, can you guys see this? You want to say it together? Okay, we are abundance, living from a place of curiosity. We open to our abundance. We give generosity. We are abundance. Thank you, Spirit. All right, go forward and get the goods. All right. Speaking of ways to give, thank you to Reverend Penny for sponsoring the music today, the wonderful music. Thank you. You can support the community in this way. Check it out in the foyer. There's a sign up there for giving to support music. And I have been known to split that with people who didn't want to cover the whole cost. So that's worked really well. Okay. You can participate in abundance giving during this Sunday celebration. We accept checks and cash and what does he say? Gold coins? Yeah. Okay. Or you can mail your gifts to.
Or diamonds.
Yeah. P.O. Box 1740, Flagstaff AZ 86002. And if you'd like to discuss a legacy gift to Unity, please contact Shawn. He's the one that's been bringing that up, and he says he's gotten some great responses from people. So that's wonderful. Okay, last call for Father's Day pictures. I just realized that I didn't have any pictures with my father where I was smiling, even though I liked him a lot. So it'll be pictures of just my father, who was very, very handsome. Okay, let's celebrate Dad energy and submit to Trina. Okay. So, submit by today at 3 p.m. and it's office at unityofflagstaff.org. Shawn works on Sundays. So, okay, June 15th it'll be Father's Day. And there's a fundraiser for Unity of Flagstaff. Stephanie is going to provide acupuncture. Yes, she's going to provide acupuncture.
You need to text that number to sign up or go to the website. That number's on the website also.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll take a look at that and make sure. Okay. And then June 19th is another Let's Spend Some Time with Penny Day. We're going to go to some burros and order some of their delicious food. And if we get up to a certain amount, they give us. Oh, that's super, super. Okay. So, and it's good food, and it's fun to be there. So.
And you get 30% of everything that you order, takeout, dine-in, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. And we have fun. I'm there all day.
Yeah.
There all day. Just mention us.
Okay. And there's a wonderful party coming up, you guys. It's going to be over. See, the problem is I can't read this. So, all right. It's going to be over at Federated. And we're asking and not demanding a $5 donation to cover the expense of food and various other things. And it's on the 5th of July. Yes. All right. But we all have that information up on the website too, so you can actually go to the website. And don't tell Penny. No, I think he already determined the number of people that we're going to feed. So.
It is not RSVP. It is not RSVP. Yes, okay.
All right.
Just pop in between 1 and 5 or whatever that time was.
1 and 4.
1 and 4. Okay.
Thank you. And we're going to be doing what we used to call dinners for 8. And now it's just going to be community dinners. And if you want to host one, you can sign up there. And if you want to sign up and just join the group, then we can do that too.
We need about 2 more hosts.
All right.
2 more hosts.
2 more hosts. I would have to clean up my house if I did that. All right. Happy Pride Month. What have we got?
All right. So this is a bit of a shameless plug. I am the area lead for an organization called freemomhugs.org. And it is an advocacy group that was started by a mom to let children in the LGBTQIA plus community know that if your parents, if your families do not accept you, there is an army of moms and dads and allies out there that are standing with you. They will go to your weddings and walk with you. They will show up at your graduations and walk with you. And I have the honor of doing this 3 times every year. I do Mojave Pride, I do Pride in the Pines, and I do Winslow. And now I've been invited also to Prescott, so I'm excited to be growing with the hugs. And all we do is we show up in a wonderful booth and we give out love. And as what we do is, the goal is we don't let go until they do. And for being ADHD, having sensory issues, touching people, touching strangers is often a really, really difficult thing for me. However, in the picture that you see up here on, if I'm standing, it's going to be my right-hand side. Those 4 women, I knew them when they were in the 2nd grade, the 1st grade, 6th grade, and then the little sister on the end. I had her for about 2 weeks, and then I moved away. These were 4 different women, 4 different schools, and you never know when a moment is going to make a memory. And these 4, all at the same time, came up to my booth screaming, "Miss McFarland!" and then started talking to each other, and I was so just absolutely amazed because the things that they talked about, I had no memory of. Silly things that I had said to them or put my arm around them or just things that I had never even considered would mean something to them. And all I did was just cry. And I get to stand here. They're all grown now. These were young children who were still trying to figure out who they were, and they were loved for whoever that was. And so here comes the shameless plug, if this is something that appeals to you, if you want to be part of this movement of giving out love in a time that desperately needs more love and hugs, I will be there at Pride in the Pines on the 21st. We still have spots open. You can sign up for 1 2-hour shift, be there the whole day. I will be performing that day for the very first time. I have a 15-minute spot, the longest I've ever done. So if you are in all interested, please come talk to me. I would love to have you part of this. I'd love to keep growing this with your help. And I'm going to be pushing for next administration. Unity needs to be in the booth right next door so we can give love and faith all in one swoop. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. I did the last one with the group, and it was a lot of good hugs. Okay. We have wish list and needs boards. I don't see anything over there on the needs board, but wish list has got a great selection, like new minister, that you can help with. We're going to need funds to have that happen. We appreciate your ongoing support, and we're going to bless the baskets that are already upstairs, apparently. Yes. No. Say this together. Thank you for this bounty. Thank you for this community. Thank you for the good we do and will do. We are joy-filled, and so it is.
All right, thank you, Marcia. Round of applause for our basket blesser today. As you are comfortable, please stand. We're going to affirm the prayer of protection, and then let's go back into I can see clearly now a little bit. Yeah? All right, here we go. Together we say, the light of God surrounds us. Claim the light. The love of God enfolds us. Claim the love. The power of God protects us. Claim the power. The presence of God watches over us. Claim the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you again to Shawn Dennehy. Round of applause. Thank you for everybody that made this possible today. Thank you, Selena. Thank you, Shawn, hiding back there in the back now. And thank you, Sam. We appreciate you. Yes. Round of applause.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Okay, I was having this hallucination that you had a daughter named Olive.
Rose.
Well, you got Rose.
Yep, and Stella.
Stella, that's what
Yep.
I got. I don't know what happened. Maybe I want Olives. Where are they? What are they doing?
They're in Washington. Rose will be here because her mom still lives here. She'll be here next week. Yeah, and I'd love to tell her to come on by.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're kind of out of having a youth program at all.
Yeah.
Because when I said, it's just